All right, guys, welcome back. We are currently in Utah. We're on wind hold at the mountains, and I just want to take this time before we go and stoke up there to give a tutorial to you guys. It's been a minute since I've done any type of tip. I've been saving this folder called Crazy Saves, and if you guys drop some comments for the future of exact videos that you want me to do, like backside 540, frontside 720, or even just simple stuff, how to urban style onto a rail, or backside, frontside, board side, whatever you guys want, leave it in the description below. And stay tuned because I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown of this massage gun made by Bob and Brad, who are sponsoring this video. If you guys don't know who that is, you gotta step your YouTube game up. But jumping straight into it, I'm gonna show this video on the screen of, here's a cab one back 3 from the other day. I cab one on, I back 270, and when I land, I literally land sideways on a mix of like ice and awkward powder. And I somehow was able to ride it out. I actually had a brace on my wrist. I couldn't fall, so I couldn't even put my hands down for that one. And then the second clip we have, I think this was opening weekend, where I landed basically backwards and was able to shimmy walk my way through not catching a heel edge. We got the Highland clip, pretty infamous, where I didn't realize how steep the up rail was, caught a toe edge, and was able to spin 180, land another board slide and 2-7 out without dying. And all of these clips are literally insane. This one, I got bucked switch backside off of a kicker at North Star and was somehow able to land on my feet. And I land all of these things with the most minimal impact so that I can continue riding the next day. We're just gonna start off with the first one because how often do we go to throw something and not get it around and landing? Basically, toe or heel edge is a recipe for disaster. I started snowboarding. I instantly started coaching because I needed a season pass and I was living at Mount Snow. And in order to get a free season pass, you had to get a job. So I figured what's something that I could do that would put me on hill and get me better at riding. So I started doing classes. There's like courses that you have to do on the East Coast, 100, and then there's like level 200. It's been a minute. But they taught me about twist, tilt, pivot, pressure. And if I can remember what that is, twisting is when each rail or each edge of your snowboard goes in different directions. So basically like that, that's a twist. Tilt is like that. Pivot is like this. And then pressure is literally like a press. So there's 4 different angles of movements that we have in snowboarding. When you land with your edge facing downhill, your main goal should be to tilt your board so that whatever edge is facing down the hill does not go in, because momentum going forwards with an edge locked in is gonna send you flying, AKA scorpion, AKA back taco, anything you can imagine. And to lift your toe edge, they taught us to stick your butt out and keeping your chest arched, and instantly you see that your toes come up. So when you push your belly forwards, that's how you make your heel edge raise off the ground. And when you suck your belly in and stick your butt out is when, basically like a squat, even though that formula has changed and we do want pressure over our toes these days, but all of the heel pressure is activated. My chest is still upright. I'm always athletic stance, and that allows me to literally land and then pivot my board back to regular. So that's how I save any time where I land toe edge or heel edge facing down the hill, is by sticking your stomach out when it's gonna be a heel edge and sticking your butt out when it's gonna be a toe edge. Number 2 here, holy moly. Same deal, landing the way I wanted to, but my body not having the momentum it needed to ride it out, so it wanted to snap backwards. And right here you see I am butt out, so almost all heel edge. And instead of catching, it looks like I released the weight of my body, so I start to fall while I combine that with pivoting my leg. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. And picking up the board to shift the weight around to that toe edge. So that's a way more complicated one, and I honestly don't know how I saved it. Just get super low, disengage the weight of my body so that I can pick my front foot up and pivot my board around to switch edges. Oh, and I gotta say, I have been snowboarding for literally 15 years. And this year is probably the lightest I've ever been on my feet coming into the season because I did 75 hard. And I know a lot of times I go to give you guys tips on how to become a better snowboarder and you think, oh, this guy's gonna actually give me like a tip that I can use. Do this with my head, do this with my neck, my shoulders, my arms. And then they're like, oh God, it's just, he keeps telling me to just fix my diet, get sunlight in my eyes, meditate every night. But literally those things that like get your whole wellness and being and body the way that you're supposed to be. Like when you're clear-minded and you're light and you're agile, you also have a confidence in you when you've been doing the right things where you know you can get out of stuff. So take stretching and yoga, all that type of stuff seriously, and your body will respond. And I literally feel like here we are this year again. I have just been making crazy saves. I came into this front lip, didn't realize that I was coming in super fast and it was almost like a vertical up rail. And when I hit, my toe edge basically caught. I was probably gonna do this 180 switch up. So a crucial tip in all aspects of snowboarding is if you initiate something and there's something that kind of stops that movement, if you can tuck and ball up, like you feel like the momentum is still there, but it paused you for a second, I think a lot of the times it's better to go with the flip and get 270% of it around rather than trying to fight that momentum and potentially only getting half of it around. So I hit the board slide, caught my edge, went with it, and as you could see, it was gonna send me to a heel edge backside. And so instead of my butt being out, you could tell I'm straight-legged, which puts the pressure tilting back towards my toe edge, which is not facing downhill, so that allows me to slide. I keep going with the momentum. My heel edge does catch because you can only do so much. And I went with it and kind of passed the 270 marker, pushed the last 90 because of yoga and was able to ride it out and keep spinning. A huge portion of all of that comes from the commitment to the trick that you started. And I almost want to fast forward to this last clip right here where we showed the back double 10. I whipped it and I realized that I wasn't going fast enough and I didn't have enough momentum. And the difference you can see of how fast you spin consistently when you're balled up, staying tucked the whole time. Like basically if you go for a front flip and you don't get the momentum, staying balled up all the way until you land is better than opening up, landing on your back. You might be able to get it around to your feet. When you open up, full body, starfish like this, and literally extend, you can stop an entire rotation all the way until you land. So seeing how dramatically you can slow down by opening up makes you realize how fast you can increase your acceleration by balling up. That's how I saved that last one. I whipped for 2 and realized let go, open up, extend the arms, extend the legs, leave the lower body behind you, all the way until you have to land the trick. We'll do this switchback lip one right here because it's easy proof of how far out my stomach is and being on that heel edge, leading with dominance towards the downhill. And once again, I like disengage the weight and pick my nose up, pivot off the back foot and push it around to ride it out another day. And then here we go. This is a huge one. This I haven't explained the importance of how to disperse yourself. I think I broke this down in another how to fall properly video if you guys want to see it in depth. I don't even know what I was going for. It almost looks like a switch backside 180 because I didn't really do anything, but I got a little Wu-Tang off the lip and it sent me inverted. So instantly, if you're gonna do a 180 and go inverted, I realize I'm gonna land on my head. Explaining this is crazy because it's all just instinct. But as soon as I realized that that was gonna be the scenario, I needed to get the 360 around or at least the 270 to land on that heel edge to take away some of the impact because I knew I was gonna land at a sideways angle and explode no matter what. So I wanted to mitigate that. So I left my lower body as far behind me as I could to basically save for insurance, whatever rotation I might need later on. Flail the arms, stall it out. The 180 is done. I clearly overshot. And as you can see, I'm gonna land on my right side like that. As we fall, we're going back seat. I pull the legs around now to get at least my board past that 90 and I touch my tail first. So this is where I was talking about dispersing the energy. If your tail touches first, it starts to take some of the energy away. Then as your board compresses down and your back foot touches, and maybe even your hand, I don't want to say put your hand down, but if you know that when your hand and your board and your body's touching, you can let go of the weight of your hand and move it into your arm and shoulder and hip. And by the time you're exploding and hitting the ground, your board, both feet have already touched and are pushing up to kick out more dispersion. and then the rest full part of your body hits your back, your legs, everything, and you kind of just absorb like the last 30% of it. Get up and get out of the way. You're fine. But realistically, explaining this is difficult because I don't even know what's happening. And like I said, I've been riding for 15, 20 years. I took courses in training and how to teach people. So I have a lot of mechanics in my head that maybe I subconsciously know, but literally being light on your feet, being confident in your overall health and how much you've trained and worked towards what you're doing, and repetition over and over and over again. You're gonna fall, you're gonna get beat down. I'm glad I could share this with you guys. Bob and Brad, once again, are legendary humans. They're here to just help people. They have so much good content on the internet. Like I said the other day, to be sponsored by companies who I truly support and who I know will truly help you guys out is legendary. So thank you once again, Bob and Brad, for the Air 2 massage gun. And I hope this helped you guys out, mitigating some falls, taking some bails, dialing yourself in so you can keep riding another day. If you enjoyed it, drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and let me know what other tutorials you want in the future. Thank you guys for the dream. Should we go ride Park City out?